Listen, this is a perfect example in this video right here why certain things will never stop happening in Jamaica. Certain things like reprisal killings will never stop happening in Jamaica because of situations like these. And I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, that people in positions of power are the ones who are responsible for the way how the system is going. Them youth here nowadays, they have nothing to fear, my friend. When them bad, them not have no kind of consequences and repercussions. It's too easy. Okay? And that's why they get along like that. Now, can you imagine? A youth can look upon the next youth in school and say to him, say, me murder that boy, you know. Because the most them are going to give me about 5 years of prison. That's it. If them give me 5 years of prison and me at 17, by the time me at 22, 23, me come back a road. This goes way deeper than this. I'm going to get into the details of the story for you, but stick to this. This goes way deeper than this. I have to say this before I forget. What this is them allowing the most vicious of our kind to roam amongst us, given many opportunities to offend, to kill, to murder, to maim, before they eventually take them off the streets. You understand? So we covered a story recently on SouFLoTV, my audience. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. Welcome back to SouFLoTV. It's your host with the most. Listen to the reasoning. We covered a story recently about children in school. Now, trending topic was guard ring. The ring have to load up. The ring is a guard ring. The ring is a ring where, you know, obvious science and whatever you want to call it, depend on the ring. So you have a ring that on your finger, and the ring is supposed to hold certain powers and be powerful and thing, right? This is what the students are now into more than anything else. A lot of people are saying, well, religion has failed them because the picnic them not dunce, them not dumb. Them see them parents and grandparents are pray to white Jesus from when. And I know white Jesus can't appear and can't solve none of them problems. So they try different avenues. I don't have any oohs and ahs about that. It is what it is. See? But that guard ring situation or guard ring situation led to an altercation in school because one youth believes say a next youth thief him guard ring. So man confront man, or should I say youth confront youth in school. An altercation in school among school students break out, and voila, a knife appears and one of the students gets stabbed multiple times and dies. Seen? Alright, fast forward now. The headlines. High school student pleads guilty to manslaughter in the death of his schoolmate. Alright, the male student who was charged with the fatal stabbing of his 16-year-old William Knibb Memorial High School schoolmate, Kamal Hall, earlier this year, did go to court, did plead guilty after he was charged. But check this out, people. After he was charged for murder, he was granted bail. You hear what I say? These are the things that keep us in the place that we're in. After he was charged for murder, he was granted bail. But keep on listening to the story though. After he was charged for murder, he was granted bail. Alright. He goes to court. He pleads guilty to the lesser offense of manslaughter. Manslaughter, I know. Not murder. Which means somebody gave him a sweet deal. Somebody put a deal on the table. If two school youth a fight, and this fight, if it's school fight them a fight in a school, there should be no knife produced. All of we who go school get into some kind of fight and altercation already. There should be no knife produced. So when this man produce a knife now and stab up him fellow schoolmate now, what he's showing is that him willing to kill for little and nothing. So, being this young, demonstrating to those who are in charge that I'm willing to kill for little and nothing, he gets a slap on the wrist. How does he get a slap on the wrist? Keep paying attention to the story. So the accused teen, whose identity has been withheld due to the fact that he's a juvenile, He appeared in the Trelawney Circuit Court last week, and his bail was then revoked. His bail was then revoked for the student by presiding High Court Judge Justice Andrea Thomas. He was subsequently remanded into custody until his sentencing on December 1st. Alright, so you're walking with it so far. Reports are that two schoolboys were engaged in a confrontation allegedly over a gathering at the school during lunch break on Monday, March 21st this year. Alright, walking with it so far? Watch this now. The headline today says, a William Knibb High School student sentenced to almost 5 years. Almost 5 years, you know. William Knibb High School student sentenced to almost 5 years for killing a fellow schoolmate. May I tell you, you know, William Knibb High School student sentenced to 5 years for killing fellow schoolmate. Listen, I'm reading the article, right, in the Observer, and I noticed a couple of things that were so wrong. But that's the way how the system run. Now, you have to say to yourself, say, if this was my youth, right? If this was my 16-year-old, my star football player 16-year-old, you stab him up because you feel like saying, take your ring. Listen to me. It could have even been the other way around. The youth were dead. Maybe it was his ring that was missing, and he went and confront the youth who him think did thief him ring, and the youth stab him up. However that goes, it was some kind of misunderstanding or altercation over a gathering. At the end of the day, the youth is dead. William Knibb Student sentenced to 4 years and 10 months for murder. 4 years and 10 months, my friend. Now, 4 years and 10 months, when you watch the person who murdered your child go off to do 4 years and 10 months in prison, you want to tell me, say, you are going to just sit on your hands and say, this is justified. I believe in the justice system. I appreciate this judge. This is what I call justice. Is that how you're going to handle it? Because right now, me not tell nobody if it do when me say, you know. But me I tell you when me woulda do. You understand? Let me say that again, because I don't want anybody say SouFLoTV is inciting violence and all these things. Me not telling nobody to do what I say. I'm just telling you what I would do. And I'm telling you that while you're doing your 4 years, you would hear about whole heap of funeral from your family. Because me I dash a couple of your family member them. Right? And then when you come out now, your time for go down in the ground too. In other words, me not taking that. So, like I said when I started the video, how in God's green earth and heaven skies does someone justify giving someone 4 years for murder, for taking a life? And it's not like saying take the life of a little waste man either. He took the life of a student, a fellow student, a youth to get up and go to school and get him good grades and play football at a high level. So you could very well say his future was bright. The 17-year-old William Knibb Memorial High School student who pleaded guilty to manslaughter in connection with the stabbing death of a fellow student, Kamal Hall, was sentenced to 4 years and 10 months a short while ago. Him sentencing go through 4 years and 10 months for stabbing up somebody's child to death. Justice Andrea Thomas handed down the ruling in the matter on Monday in the St. James Circuit Court, which was today. She explained that she took into consideration a number of factors when coming to her decision. So I want to hear them now. Because somebody said SouFLo, he was represented by a Speaker of the House, Member of Parliament, that is also a politician. So you have to understand the connections. Why he was able to get a sweet deal, commit murder, get to plead guilty to manslaughter instead of murder, and end up walking away with 4.5 years. This is why reprisal killings can't stop. You see, if us Jamaicans actually could depend on the system, and I know that if you did something to one of my family members, them, you come stab up my son. Me know say about 25 years before you come out of prison, and we could bank on that, the people them, the place would be much calmer. But you see, when time people look and see say, we're not getting no justice from the system, how do you expect a family, auntie, uncle, mother, father, brother, sister, cousins, to sit around and accept that their loved one is gone and the killer got 4.5 years? This is what the judge said. The judge explained that she took into consideration a number of factors. Hall was fatally stabbed during a dispute in school, allegedly over a guard ring, in March of this year. The accused was subsequently charged, and in November, the accused had pled guilty. Now, them never go into the details of what she took into consideration, what factors she took into consideration. But I'm guessing the factors she's talking about she took into consideration is that he was young, which means, and he was probably remorseful, which means that, or shows signs that there's still a chance of rehabilitation there. He had no prior criminal records. He is an outstanding student. Probably had people that spoke on his behalf and all these kind of things. Me no business about none of that. I wouldn't care about any of that. In my eyes, what I saw was that this young man has demonstrated that he is willing to kill for little and nothing. The William Knibb High School student charged with the fatal stabbing of his schoolmate Kamal Hall pleaded guilty to manslaughter when he appeared before the High Court Judge Andrea Thomas in Trelawney Circuit Court on Monday. Hall was fatally stabbed on Monday, March 21st during an altercation with the accused over a ring. Hall, who was of a D-side Trelawney address, was the goalkeeper of the school's football team that competed in last season's Da Costa Cup competition. Let me tell you something. Everybody who play football knows that Da Costa Cup is no joke, right? You know, just get up and end up in a Da Costa Cup, so you have to be dedicated to that thing there. So obviously this youth, the goalkeeper, you know, for the football team, you know, that competed in last season's Da Costa Cup competition, may I tell you, say it's not a little waste youth him kill. The accused was charged after being questioned by detectives in the presence of his attorney at law. He was represented at law by attorney at law Marissa Dalrymple Filbert. Marissa Dalrymple Filbert is said to be an attorney as well as a Speaker of the House and a Member of Parliament. So some political thing going in there. So his bail was revoked until Thursday, December 1st, when he was scheduled to appear in court for his sentencing, and he did appear in court, and they gave him 4 years and 10 months. 4 years and 10 months. I don't know, sir. I don't know. Listen, if this is what the youth them have to what the government or what our leaders are calling, this is supposed to be a deterrent. This is supposed to deter who from doing what? Because if a youth piss me off and me know so me can murder him and go do 4.5 years, I'll do it. I'll do it. In the heat of the moment, you're going to do it. This is sad. It's sad as Ross. Right? The injured student was rushed to the Falmouth Hospital where he died while undergoing treatment, and the attacker was later arrested and subsequently charged. He was represented by House Speaker and South Trelawney Member of Parliament MP Marissa Dalrymple Filibert. That means a few people put up their money and they did not get any regular old lawyer. They got somebody that is definitely in the system and has pull and rank in the system. Because to be an attorney is one thing. Yeah, you went to school, you went to law school, you studied, you passed the bar, you got your law degree. You're now a lawyer, and you can practice now. But when you are a speaker, house speaker, and Southern Trelawney member of parliament, that holds a whole lot of different weight. And I can't help but to think that that played a major part in what this outcome was. 4 years and a few months for a life. Talk to me in the comment section and make this make sense to me. I'll catch y'all on the next video, man. It's SouFLoTV at Outer Road. I actually had to pull up just now and stop and record this because I couldn't do it. I couldn't even drive no further when I saw the headline came across. Talk up. I'll catch y'all on the next video with SouFLoTV. My condolences goes out to the victim's family, because regardless of how this start, me just know say that can't sit too good for a woman right now. Remember our mother ball and pass out and they had to pick her up and all these things. She probably was looking at her son like, you know, the next Leon Bailey or something like that. Him can come do something for the family. You know, go overseas, play football at England, come rescue him family and put them in a different financial bracket and these things. All those dreams were not to be realized because his life was cut short. And the person who did it got 4 years and a couple months. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all already know. I'm out. Peace.